Greetings and salutations. How are you today? Well, me, fantastic. Thanks for asking. Let's see here. I need a half inch. 9/16. And we'll head out towards the bus. Got great news today, fellas and ladies. After 4 years and 11 months of ownership, finally got license plates for the bus. Sorry for the wind noise. So I'm gonna put these license plates on. I think I'm gonna take this elbow off too and get this vent tube turned around and hooked up to my puke tank. That's a topic for another video. Today, excuse me, I'm gonna work around here. I want to talk about the process. That's pretty tight. I'll talk about the process of getting this vehicle legal. And if you've been with me for a little bit, you know that I've had my share of obstacles and hoops and all sorts of issues that I've had to overcome to get to the point where I can actually put this thing on the road to start using it. And the purpose of this video is to help y'all, if you're so inclined to take on an endeavor as large as this, to have as much information going into it so you're not blindsided. So if you go back to when I bought this thing, I really wasn't looking to do a bus conversion. I was just looking, and I found a deal that I could not pass up. It's one of those things that if you don't move on it, it's an opportunity that's gonna be gone, and it's never gonna come back again. You just strike while the iron's hot and let the chips fall where they may. So I always wanted to do a bus conversion, but it was kind of a bucket list item thing. This thing popped up on eBay, and it was just, it was so inexpensive that I figured, well, if I don't ever do anything with it, at least I can do is part it out and double my money. I could do that. I only paid $1,225 for this bus 5 years ago. The only catch was I had to go to Battleground, Washington to pick it up. That wasn't an issue. The seller was accommodating. He picked me up from the airport, gave me a tank of fuel. That was $300 in and of itself. So I really only paid $900 for this thing. And I'm working and talking at the same time. It's not something I'm very good at. Be that as it may. I made a couple of mistakes during this process, and I'm hoping you're going to learn from my mistakes if you're going to do something like this. And I knew that there was going to be a process to having this thing legal. Like, one of the things I knew I was going to have to do was have this thing retitled. I was probably going to have it retitled as a motorhome. And there's a process for doing that in Nevada, as there's a process for doing that here in Texas. So before you even think about getting started on a project like this, determine whether or not you'll even be able to accomplish it in the state that you live in, because some states aren't as friendly to the idea of converting a school bus into an RV. So in the state of Nevada, there's a pretty in-depth inspection process, at least when it comes to retitling a vehicle as an RV. You have to have the vehicle inspected, and it has to visually inspected. The inside, which means the conversion needs to be done before you can retitle it, and it has to have a separate sleeping area, food prep and storage area, black and gray, at least a black tank, and a bathroom area with a toilet. So if you do a conversion, you're thinking about using a composting toilet, Nevada doesn't recognize a composting toilet as a legitimate bathroom area, so you're going to have a tank at least temporarily, hooked to a toilet to be able to pass an inspection in the state of Nevada. So my first mistake was to forego transferring the title into my name immediately when I got it home, and putting that off until the conversion was done, at which point I would go ahead and retitle it as an RV. I mean, why do something twice, right? That was a mistake. That could have cost me a lot of money. Dang, this thing is tight. Need to get a hammer. So there's a couple reasons why I didn't have this done in Nevada. Number one, I'm a procrastinator by nature, and I just ran out of time. And number two, not knowing the process in its entirety and just going by what people were telling me, I started to agonize over one part of this bus. And I was obsessed over it, and that was the crack in the windshield. Anybody that would tell me was telling me that if you have a crack in the windshield, that's an automatic fail. Well, I knew I didn't have time to get a new windshield, and actually it turned out I couldn't get a new windshield. I would have had to have one made. And on a week's notice, that wasn't going to happen. Turns out I didn't need a windshield. And nobody said anything about a windshield here in Texas. Passed the safety inspection. They didn't even notice the crack in the windshield. Regardless, I needed to pass a DOT inspection, at least get a DOT inspection. My thought was at least get a DOT inspection and figure out what it is I needed to do. So I took it to the one place where I could get it done in Pahrump. They're a shop that specializes in school buses and big Class A coaches. And I took it down there, and the guy that does the inspection told me, actually he asked me, you know how this works, right? And I said, nope, never done it before in my life. And he said, okay. Once I start the inspection, I find anything wrong, it can't leave the property until it's fixed. And given the fact that they were a Class A heavy truck school bus repair facility, my thinking went automatically to, well, you're not looking to pass me, you're looking for any reason to keep me here, to spend money. Which is probably kind of true. Especially after the year we had last year. Holy. But that was kind of a deal breaker for me, because if they would have dinged me for a tire. I didn't have $3,000 laying around for a new set of tires. Turns out they would have, because they were aged out. I think these are date coded 2013, and they with a DOT inspection, they can only be 3 years old. Doesn't matter how much tread is on them. They are 3 years old. They are no good. Get new ones. So I agonized over that, and I'm just talking with the guy, and I said I just wanted to get this thing legal so I can, so we can move out of state. He goes, well, what state are you moving to? Texas, I said. Go to the DMV, get a driveway permit, and do all this in Texas. You want to retitle your bus as an RV in Texas? You just retitle it. You don't have to do this. So in Nevada, once you go through the DOT inspection and retitle the bus as an RV or as a motorhome, you never have to do a DOT inspection again. DOT regulations don't apply to Class A motorhomes. It's just a bunch of unnecessary bullcrap that you need to go through to do it. Now you can do it, and I don't know how much the inspection would have cost. I don't imagine it would have been too much. And if it would have passed, then it would have been just a matter of doing the paperwork and getting it done. But I didn't have time. So I followed that guy's advice, and I purchased a driveway permit. I think it cost me $2. I had the receipt around here someplace. It cost me $2 to get that permit, and it's good for 15 days, point to point. You can't, take it on a 15-day vacation and drive up into the Rocky Mountains and across the eastern seaboard and then down to Texas. No, I had to go directly from my old residence in Pahrump, Nevada, to my new residence in Pleasanton, Texas. That in and of itself relieved me of a lot of stress, and just all I had to do was drive the vehicle because it was 100% road legal. So that was the whole process in Nevada. You got to jump some hoops. It's not unattainable. As far as the costs are concerned, I don't know what the cost would have been to register the vehicle in Nevada. In the title transfer, it probably wouldn't have been a whole lot of money. In Nevada, there's no sales tax associated with private party-to-party sales, so I wouldn't have been charged, any sales tax. But I don't know what the registration fees in Nevada were for a Class A coach. They might be cheap. I don't know. I have no idea. So that brings us to Texas. So once it's here in Texas, I have to get a vehicle inspection. I'm in the process of doing that with all our vehicles. So I get a vehicle inspection. It costs $7. The intensity of that inspection varies from county to county. There are some counties in Texas that are emissions counties, so you have to have emissions testings, and I would suppose that they have a more strenuous safety inspection regime. Out here in Anacostia County, they check to make sure all your lights work, your blinkers work, your brake lights work, the wipers work, your horn works, and the tires have air in them. You're good to go. I like that. Anyway, I brought the bus down there thinking that, well, I got my safety inspection. If it's anything like the car, I just go down and transfer the title, get the registration, and I'm good to go. No, you're not. So I had to get a couple of pieces of paper. I had to get a title transfer application and a rebuilt title application. I had to fill those out. I had to go down to the weigh station and get a weight ticket. Coincidentally, my bus weighs 27,100 pounds, well under the 35,000 GVW. Proof of insurance, had that. I had to take some pictures. I had to take some pictures of the bus, front, back, and both sides. Not on the inside. I didn't take any pictures of the inside, just the outside. And I had to declare the main and minor colors of my bus. Once that was done, I brought it down there, and because it's not something that they do on the regular, I mean, not a lot of people down here in Texas are doing bus conversions, I guess, because it's not something they do on a regular basis. And because of the situation where I've got an out-of-state title that is coming through a second out-of-state, and because it's 5 years since I've owned a vehicle and never transferred a title, they could have hit me for, what was that? I figured $1,450 in fees. See, in Texas, you have 30 days to transfer your title. And this is where it could have got expensive. You have 30 days to transfer your title, and if you go beyond that 30 days, it's $25 a month. So I'm 1 month short of 5 years of ownership. 5 years, 60 months, 58 months at $25 a month. I think it's $1,450. That was more than I paid for the whole dang bus. But apparently they have done enough discretion out at the tax office where I pleaded my case, and they showed me some mercy and made today the sales date. So I avoided $1,450 worth of fees. That being said, it cost almost $500 to transfer the title, make it a motorhome title, and get the tags. The tags were $398 by themselves. So that's the cost here in Texas. It's not hard to do. It takes a little bit of time to do, but if you got all the forms, it's going to require a couple of trips to the DMV, unless you know what forms you're going for and they have them available online. That I don't know. But you're going to need those two forms, title transfer form and the rebuilt title form. And then you're going to need insurance, a weight ticket, vehicle inspection report, and you're golden. I'm 100% legal. We can take this bus on a trip anytime we want to. And given it's the second week of November to this week, it's the second week of November, Kids have one more full week, the rest of this week, and one more full week of school, and they have the entire week of Thanksgiving off. We're going on a trip. So stay tuned for that. That's how I got my bus legal, registered, retitled here in the state of Texas. Your state probably will vary, including the cost. But my advice is, if you're going to take on a project like this, make sure you do your research first. Don't get caught up in the moment, and don't make a purchase without finding out whether your state allows for a retitle. As far as insurance goes, I went through Good Sam's. They're one of the only underwriters of schoolies. They specialize in that kind of thing. And the insurance for this bus cost me $268, $270 a year. I don't have the cheapest insurance, but I've got decent insurance. And one thing you need to keep in mind too is that if you buy a schoolie and you go to get insurance on it, you're probably not going to have the option of having your underwriter insure the vehicle itself, like a comprehensive plan where you have full coverage insurance, because there's no way that they can evaluate the quality of your work unless you go through a coach builder to do your schoolie conversion. You're probably not going to be able to get full coverage. If you go through a coach builder, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of having a schoolie. Just my opinion. So that's how I did it. If you have a schoolie, comment down a doobly-doo on how you did yours, and we share this information, and hopefully that can be helpful to someone who's considering doing a school bus conversion. Transfer the title immediately, however. Don't wait, because it could cost you thousands of dollars. So that's all I got for today. Hope this video was informative. If you liked it, smash the like button. Just beat it to death. And then share it with your vast social media network. If you have something to add, comment down in the comment section. If you want to support the channel, you can do the easy thing is just to smash like and share. If you shop on Amazon, check the links in the description, and you can do all your Amazon shopping through any of those links. If you want to support the channel on the monthly, there's Patreon. If you want to throw me a couple bucks, there's PayPal. If you can afford to do any of those things, thank you in advance if you can. Yeah, it probably means we're cousins. If you haven't done so yet, please click the subscribe button. And if you do that, click the little bell icon. That way YouTube will let you know the next time I upload a video. That costs nothing. It's absolutely free. So until next time, you have fun, stay safe, shoot straight, keep powder dry, have a splendid day. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.